they don't always want to organize it, but they will attend if it is super convenient. And all they need to do is welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello. Today, we're going to be talking about being a connector and the value that that can bring. This was something that I was just discussing in my business coaching group I'm a part of last night as of the time of this recording. And I was just sharing how I'm adding value, I'm connecting the dots for people, and I'm really just stepping it up in my community in terms of the Arete business group that I'm a part of, the local community I'm in with different real estate and business professionals that live in my area. And I am leading the pack in a way to actually coordinate, schedule meetups, invite people, send reminders, do all those things that most people don't want to do because it does take a lot of time and it is not super convenient. And a lot of times it doesn't really seem like maybe there's an ROI or like you're spending time spinning your wheels. That's how it can feel at times. And I assume that's why most people don't do those things. But whenever you do those things, people thank you and they see the value that you are providing and bringing to that group and to that situation by taking the initiative. I'm trying to do a better job of saying you instead of me or I, and I don't want to brag at all. I'm just sharing my thought process and how I am approaching this in case you find it helpful for yourself. Because oftentimes, if you take the lead and you take the initiative to put these different events together, to coordinate Zoom calls or in-person meetups, send reminders, send thank you emails, set up the RSVP or the reservation at a restaurant or a brewery or whatever it is, when you do those things, people always want to be a part of it. Again, they don't always want to organize it, but they will attend if it is super convenient. And all they need to do is 2 steps, RSVP, and second step, show up. So this is how I've been approaching it recently. And I've been seeing huge dividends in a way. People are thanking me in the Facebook group that I'm a part of. It's a private group for paid members. Someone actually just shouted me out and said, "Hey, mad props to Chris Bello for emceeing." Let me see the exact screenshot because I did type it up in my business coaching notes the other day. In my business coaching group, we do a recap of how things are going. We talk about how we're checking in. Are we feeling, out of one out of five, one being the worst, five being super energized, how we're feeling. We also do a deep dive in what we're working on, what we're stuck on, questions for other members of the group. And it's a smaller group setting. There's 7 or 8 other entrepreneurs in that group with me, along with the business coach. But what I wanted to talk about was I got tagged in the Arete group by another member. And this guy's one of the guys who I kind of realize is killing it. And they have a 7, soon to be 8-figure company. And it sounds like he's exited a few companies before. And so he sounds like he's very experienced. But he commented, "Mad props to Chris Bello," and he tagged me, "for putting together, managing, and emceeing an informal group meeting. Personally, I didn't join Arete to hear Andy or Ed speak. I joined in order to meet real people doing real shit, and I'm stoked to find that this is a great group for that." And it had 37 or 38 likes, 25 comments. Several people were saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry I missed that call," or "I wish I had been on that call. I forgot about it. I couldn't make it. I'll be there on the next one. Please send me a reminder, Chris." And so again, just to show you what I have done and to give you some ideas within your network on how to add value, even when you're not sure what value you may be able to provide, you can just be the resource who brings people together and who is the connector to add value to the group as a whole. So the way that this group that I'm a part of is set up is you join, there's a Facebook group, there's a lot of great stuff and interactions happening in there. It's probably 2,100 members in the whole group. And it's always flowing. There's always a little bit of churn. Some people drop off, new people come in, that kind of thing. But there are also those core group of members that have been there from the start and the founding of that business group that I'm a part of. And so people jump in. Then there are 2 or 3 Zoom calls a month, either informative with Andy Frisella or Ed Milet, or a Q&A type session where you can type in your questions in the chat box via Zoom webinar, and whoever is on the call that day will answer your questions. So you still don't get to turn your camera on or turn on your mic. It's just you see their face and you can type into the question box and you can't even see anyone else's questions. They go through, they read, they pick the questions they think are best and most related to the topic that they're talking on. And that's what they chime in on. So myself and some other members, when we joined and we're not really sure, how does this work? What do we do? We're in the Facebook group. Cool. When are the calls? When do we get those emails? There was a little bit of uncertainty there on how to navigate that, but also how to really, I've seen this question in the group several times. How do we take advantage of this group or make the best use of this group to really connect with others and add value and, partner up on different deals or whatever, build relationships, right? And now by hosting these biweekly calls in the events tab of that group, people can see which events are coming up. My link in that group is now a link to a landing page instead of just the Zoom link. That way they can drop their name and email. I capture that information. I can better send them reminders to get better turnout. Hey, FYI, tomorrow is that call at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Make sure you're there. Here's the link to join. And then I've got another one. These are already scheduled out prior to the call. They're scheduled 20 days in advance of the call, so that people are able to remember, put it on their calendars and show up, get the value. I can make these amazing connections. The guy who shouted me out, for example, who is almost at the 10-figure a year mark with his business, he shouted me out and thanked me. And now if I message him, he's going to be a heck of a lot more likely to actually reply, to be open to having a conversation, to being a guest on my podcast. I actually, spoiler alert, have another person who's going to be on my podcast who I met through one of these group calls that I was able to put together. So the power here and the message here, not to just brag again, I really don't want to be like, oh, look how awesome I am. I'm doing all these cool things and bringing people together. I just want to show the examples of how incredible it can be when you add value to others. All I have done is provide the platform. I invited people. I am emailing them reminders. I'm sending them the Google Calendar invite. I'm providing my Zoom, my premium Zoom account that I pay $15 or $20 a month for. I'm providing my Zoom room. I'm recording it, uploading it to my Dropbox, which I pay $130 a year for premium on. And so by doing these simple things, very low cost, like $15 a month for Zoom, $130, maybe it's like $12 a month or something for the premium Dropbox plan that I have. So for $30 a month, that's stuff that I'm already paying for. You can see how I'm being resourceful, and you can do this too, because maybe if you're listening to this, you may be thinking, well, I don't have value to add. I don't have a 10-figure a year company. What can I teach others? That dude who has a 10-figure a year company thanked me for providing this informal meeting, for setting it up, for emceeing it, for literally just recording it and being a resource. And now I've taken it a step further by building a separate email list only for those members. I'm not going to even put them on my newsletter unless they choose to be and get those emails twice a week. By the way, if you're not on my newsletter and you want to be, go to chrisbello.com/free, get that free tracker. You can sign up. I send 2 emails a week, unsubscribe anytime. But this is a separate email newsletter where they're only getting notifications for these calls. And if they ever choose to go to my website and get my free life tracker and sign up for my full newsletter, they will also get those. But anyway, if you're a connector, you add value, people recognize that, they appreciate that. And my business coach reiterated to me that that's the best way to go, because over time, over the course of 10 or 20 years of being this person who is a resource, he was saying that it's going to pay off in ways that I can't even fathom right now. Because if I'm looking too short-sighted, if I'm looking for when am I going to get mine, how am I going to get money in the next 30 to 60 days, I'm looking too small. If I think about the next 10 to 20 years, if I am this person and I'm consistently adding value to everyone that I come in contact with, imagine all the goodwill that I'm putting out there that I'll be able to draw upon if I ever need it. And that was another thing that I've noticed by connecting with several people who are at a high level, 6 and 7 figure earners, just doing really well in their businesses. I can think of several examples, even guests that I've had on my show that are in a place that I'd like to be, where I've taught them something that I know in terms of how to create a podcast, how to start it, what gear to get. Don't waste your time editing. Here's my video person. I'll connect you via email, that kind of thing. People have literally told me at the very end, like, please let me know how I can pay you back, or I owe you one, I definitely owe you one. Whenever you need a favor, you have me to call upon, that type of thing. I can think of several people who have told me those words, and typically I don't have a great answer of how they can help me right now or what exactly I'm looking for. So I've got to better define that. But I also know that it's like an ATM. I'm putting all these deposits, I'm putting all this goodwill into various relationships. And now I'll be able to withdraw down the road and make an ask. And again, you're not supposed to deposit into the ATM and intend to withdraw right away. You're trying to build that up, and you should only withdraw whatever it is that you need when you need it. Don't abuse it, right? So I love that ATM idea of putting little deposits of goodwill and helping other people out, so that whenever you're ready and you need help, or you can think of something that you need help with that someone in your network does, you can make that ask and make that withdrawal. Because like I said earlier, they are literally offering to help you because they quote unquote owe you one for something you've already done for them. So that's the value of being a connector. I will certainly keep you all posted on how that continues to go, because right now I'm not looking for an immediate payback. I'm trying to just follow that go-giver mentality of giving and giving and giving, and maybe occasionally making a slight ask of what I think I might want. But of course, that's changing every now and then on what I think I'd like to focus on. Do I want to partner with people on real estate deals? Do I want to focus on real estate agent stuff or investor stuff? There's partnership opportunities, things like that that will arise because of all these little conversations I'm having and seeds I'm planting. And when you are that connector, you have access to these opportunities that other people may not. For example, you don't even want to have to look on LinkedIn or Indeed. If you ever wanted a job or an opportunity, that honestly should be the last place you'll have to look if you are a connector, because you can just go within your network and you can start conversations. There's a guest I interviewed on the show. That episode is going to air probably in the next week or so after this one. But my guest, Austin Linney, was talking about how he was having a conversation with someone, and within 5 minutes, she was kind of saying what she was looking for, her expertise, her experience, all of that. And he was literally at the same time texting another partner in a business. And within 5 minutes, he was saying to his partner, hey, this girl sounds like a great fit. This is what she does. Here's her experience. She's really excited. She has the right mindset. Within 5 minutes of having this conversation with this girl, he was able to tell her, hey, by the way, there's a job opening here if you want it. No LinkedIn application, no Indeed application, no getting a message a year after you apply that the position's been filled and all the other bullshit that you probably had to deal with if you've tried to apply to jobs before. Trust me, I've been there before. I was applying to oil and gas companies, and I literally was working overseas a year into working with a company. I was working in Dubai for 6 or 7 months when I finally got a rejection letter from a place I applied to over a year before. And you're just kind of like, wow, I'd rather not have gotten anything than to have gotten something that late. But where I'm going with this is when you have those connections, you don't have to worry about that whole process. It can be as simple as a 5-minute conversation, a handshake, and hey, if you want a job, you have a position here, just text me. Here's my personal cell. So you're going to love that conversation that I have with Austin Linney whenever that episode airs as well. But if you have any questions or concerns or anything, drop them below. Anything you'd like me to talk about in upcoming episodes, guests that you would like me to interview, just feel free to reach out. Make sure to follow me on Instagram as well. ChrisBello_ is my handle. That's where I'm most active. If you want to DM me on there, I will respond as quickly as possible. But the fastest way is really just checking out this content, getting that free life tracker. If you're a real estate agent, go to chrisbello.com/agents. I do have a free training I offer as well that is delivered live via Zoom as of this recording. I would like to eventually put that onto some kind of, automated webinar, but of course I want it to be more personalized right now and make sure that I dial it in. As of the time of this recording, it is me delivering that training in real time, answering questions. You can get access to me that way. So please, if you're a real estate agent, if you're interested, let me know. Go to chrisbello.com/agents and sign up for the next one. And I look forward to seeing you there. If you're not a real estate agent, no worries at all. Go to chrisbello.com/free if you want that free life tracker. And I'll catch you on the next episode. So thanks so much for your time. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.